Uzumaki Jinchuriki bearing the Uchiha crest. It was a contradiction that terrified the village elders. This is the story of what happens when Naruto, the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, is raised not in isolation, but in the heart of a clan plotting a coup by its most feared shinobi. What if Naruto was Shisui's brother? For this story to work, we're going to need to go all the way back to the Nine-Tailed attack on Konoha, because something changes when the Nine-Tailed attack concludes, with Minato Uchiha this time, and Kushina Uzumaki sacrificing their lives as in canon to seal the beast, the Nine-Tailed, into their newborn son, Naruto. Minato dies believing the village will see his son as a hero, though he's greatly mistaken. You see, in this story, Minato Uchiha is the son of Kagami Uchiha, and father of Shisui, the Black Flash of the Leaf, the most feared ninja of all time, up there with the likes of Madara himself, though he's greatly disliked by his own clan for having seemingly preferred the village over his family, and didn't help the Uchiha clan in any way with the powers of the Hokage. Shisui Uchiha, at this point 7 years old, arrives at the scene too late to save his parents and finds them dead. When he picks up a crying child who he knows to be his brother, he's discovered by Hiruzen Sarutobi, the former Hokage, and Danzo Shimura, an incredibly powerful village elder, while holding the crying infant. Danzo immediately demands custody of Naruto to train him as a weapon for the Leaf, arguing that a Jinchuriki cannot be a Jinchuriki. He's too dangerous to be left with the clan due to his Sharingan ability to control the fox, as Danzo and many others still believe that the Uchiha were the ones that controlled the beast during this attack. But Shisui won't hand his own brother over, the last of his family. Hiruzen defends Minato's wish for Naruto to be a human, to have a normal life, not as a weapon, but as a young kid who lost his parents. The argument escalates between Shisui, overwhelmed by grief and rage, who now awoke his Tutomo Sharingan, seeing his dead parents, and fiercely declares Naruto his brother, who he will defend with his life. Shisui is young, but incredibly capable, and with some help from the other Uchiha, Hiruzen decides to grant custody to Shisui, overruling Danzo. Hiruzen is now back as a third Hokage, so he has power over this matter, but the political situation is still incredibly strained. Shisui takes Naruto back to the Uchiha compound, which is already under suspicion for the attack. He brings Naruto to his parents' now empty home, and confronted by Fugaku Uchiha, the clan head, who's displeased but pragmatic about the situation, realizing the clan cannot reject the Hokage and Minato's son, Fugaku's friend, without validating the village's suspicion that they are indeed the monsters who caused this attack. It's with this that Mikoto Uchiha, Fugaku's wife, steps in to help Shisui with the immediate childcare, feeding, changing, whatnot, creating a bond between the two households. You gotta also remember that Sasuke is only a few months older, so the comparison is immediately made, and Mikoto feels very bad for the child to have to grow up without parents. Sasuke and Naruto grew up as peers and good friends, and equals. Even though Naruto is disliked by a lot of the village, and especially a lot of the Uchiha, for being another burden put on them by Minato, there are 3 Uchiha, his own age that is, that do like him: Sasuke, Itachi, and Shisui himself. The first few years of raising Naruto is brutal for Shisui. He struggles rising through the ninja, though he now achieved the rank of Jonin, and he has to raise a hyperactive Uchiha child, who rarely sleeps and has immense chakra, and is a Jinchuriki. Naruto grows up knowing he's an Uchiha, but he still feels different. He has whiskers, and his hair does kind of look a bit different than the regular Uchiha. It's not really fully black, and he doesn't quite have the same natural, calm, cool demeanor expected of the Uchiha, though Shisui does help with that, as he is always calm. And when he raises Naruto, he doesn't quite become as eccentric as in canon. One day while playing at the park, Naruto is seen by 3 civilians who recognize him as the quote-unquote demon brat, and they recoil in fear. But luckily Shisui is there, who terrifies them, and scares away the civilians, protecting Naruto again, and isolating him further from the other villagers. 5 years after the Nine-Tailed attack now, and Shisui has become a war hero. Even still, the Uchiha clan elders begin to resent him. They feel his loyalty is to the village, like Minato, and he's also raising the Jinchuriki, which isn't a good look. They see Naruto as compromising his loyalty to the Uchiha clan. Meanwhile, Itachi Uchiha becomes Shisui's confidant, and helps him look after Naruto. Itachi becomes like another big brother to Naruto, and he seems to be the only one that treats Naruto with total neutrality, not hating him like some villagers, or not babying like Mikoto. But that doesn't really help. Naruto becomes kinda desperate to prove that he's a real Uchiha, and begs Shisui to teach him the Fireball Jutsu, a classic Uchiha thing that everyone should know. because Sasuke is already being taught by Itachi, and Naruto feels like he's behind. Shisui begins training Naruto in the basics, as promised. He realized Naruto has poor chakra control due to his massive reserves, and the seal, of course, making delicate Uchiha techniques really difficult. but his physical stamina is off the charts. Shisui and Itachi privately discuss the growing rumors of a coup d'etat. Shisui vows that no matter what happens politically, Naruto's safety is his priority. He'd promised to his parents, when they're still alive, that he would protect his brother over everything, even if that meant prioritizing him over the rest of his clan. That's what Minato did after all. He didn't care much for the clan, he only did what was best for the village. And saving Naruto is what's best for the village. After a couple more years, Naruto and Sasuke both enter the Ninja Academy at the same time. The contrast, though, is immediate and painful for Naruto. Sasuke is the top of his class, brooding and talented, and adored by the girls. Whilst Naruto is not doing so great. He's not dead last like in canon, but he's not doing great either. He's having a tough time learning any kind of jutsu, and he doesn't like to pay attention much in class. Though of course this is better than canon, because Shisui drilled some things into him. And Shisui is quite knowledgeable about, well, everything really, and he's a good teacher. But that doesn't quite change Naruto enough to where he would be top of the class. Naruto also feels weird for not having the sharingan, like every other Uchiha. Sasuke didn't quite have it yet either, but he didn't need it. He made up for it in everything else he was capable of. Naruto didn't. But when the other Uchiha children ostracize Naruto for being a mistake or a Jinchuriki, Sasuke actually defends him sometimes, mostly out of a sense of clan duty that was drilled into him by Itachi, rather than friendship, but it is still nice. But slowly but surely, Naruto did start catching up to Sasuke and the other peers. Shisui was finally able to teach him something useful, the technique Dad taught him. Instead of forcing Naruto to be a precision fighter like Itachi, Shisui begins training Naruto in Shunshin, body flicker, theory, and physical conditioning, leaning into Naruto's massive stamina reserves. Naruto struggles at first to learn the body flicker, often overshooting his target and crashing into the trees, many times, but his speed is undeniable. Shisui encourages him, telling him that unpredictability is also a weapon, even if it's not on purpose. In one of the training sessions, Naruto confesses that he hears whisper, of Shisui as a traitor, for working so close with the Hokage even though he is an Uchiha. It's then that he decides and declares to his brother that he will become Hokage, to force everyone to respect Shisui and himself as well as their father. This also leads him to do a lot of secret training that even Shisui didn't know about at first. He keeps training and training. With a seemingly unlimited amount of chakra, he can train for a long time, even with a difficult technique like the body flicker. But whilst he's doing that, the divide between the Uchiha clan and the Konoha leadership widens. Shisui is caught in the middle, tasked by the Hokage himself to spy on his own clan, and by the clan to spy on the village. It's at this time that Itachi also joins the Anbu. The trio of Shisui, Itachi, and Naruto spend their rare evenings together at the cliffside, the only place where they can relax. Naruto does some training, whilst Itachi and Shisui talk. About a lot of things, some Naruto doesn't even understand. But it's still nice, he's like glue, his loud jokes breaking the heavy silence between the two stressed prodigies. One night, where they would usually meet up, Shisui's missing. Itachi and Naruto are there, chatting over simple things, but Shisui's missing. He's never been late or missing on anything, so Itachi is immediately alarmed. At the same time, Shisui's being ambushed by Danzo Shimura, who uses his Izanagi ability to try to steal Shisui's right eye. But with a flashbang and body flicker, he manages to escape, poisoned, bleeding heavily, and pursued by an elite squad of Root Anbu, but not dead yet. He reaches the cliff where Naruto and Itachi were waiting, intending to pass his eyes to Itachi before he dies. As Shisui arrived, ready to pluck his eye out, Naruto, who saw him covered in blood, sees his vision blur and starts spinning. With all that stress, his eyes turn red, to the color of the sharingan. Only one time away now, but ready to expand exponentially. Just then, some of the Root Anbu chasing Shisui surround the clearing, and Shisui yells for them to run. But Naruto, with his newfound strength, immediately uses the training he's gotten. Without thinking, he tries to use the body flicker, and decks one of the Anbu right in the face. Naruto taking out one of them, but also being a distraction for the rest, Itachi starts to act. His regular 3-tomoe Sharingan now having evolved to Mangekyo after seeing Shisui's state. He thought Shisui was dying, which is why his Mangekyo was triggered, even though Shisui isn't quite dead yet. Itachi now engages the remaining root agents with lethal precision. Shisui, though weakened, supports him with Genjutsu. Naruto continues to try to fight with his newfound power. He even manages to use a shadow clone which he'd been training with Shisui, though was never really able to get quite right. But now, with the adrenaline and his Sharingan, he's able to perfect it. Which, even though he's quite weak yet, allows him to fight on par with some of the Anbu, or at least distract him long enough for Itachi to get around to them, while he's busy destroying the others. But while Itachi's still busy, one root agent starts to corner Naruto. In a moment of sheer desperation, trying to save his big brother, Naruto shifts. Back into a corner, the Nine-Tails chakra starts to leak out, red and corrosive, and mixing with the Sharingan, his eye turns more orange than red. Now with more physical power, he punches the root agent with a chakra-enhanced blow that cracks his mask and sends him flying down the waterfall. Just then, Itachi took care of the rest, and they actually survived, and Shisui is not dying. The immediate threat is neutralized, but Shisui is still weak, and he insists that he must die to stop the coup and protect the secret of the Ikoto Matsukami, which Danzo now seems to grasp. Itachi, with an unusual outburst, grabs Shisui by the vest. If you die, the clan rebels anyways. If you die, Naruto and I are alone. Naruto, also starting to cry, holds Shisui's hand. We don't need your eyes to see the truth. Danzo did this. We just have to tell everyone. We're Uchiha, aren't we? We don't run. He's naive, but still right, and it cuts through Shisui's despair. He realizes that dying alone would only allow Danzo to control the narrative, somehow still blaming the Uchiha for what had happened. So they start to formulate a plan. They can't go to the Hokage. Danzo and other Anbu will be waiting there to intercept them. They can only go to one place, the Uchiha clan meeting, which should be happening right around now. The clan meeting is underway at the Naka shrine, and Fugaku and other radical elders are whispering the clan into a frenzy, planning a coup for the next morning. They'd heard of Anbu being prepared to deal with the quote-unquote Uchiha threat, and knew it was their time to strike before they were hit. Just then, the doors are thrown open. Itachi and Naruto support a blood-soaked Shisui as they stumble into the center of the shrine. The room goes silent. The sign of their strongest warrior, the teleporter, being beaten and bloodied, shocks the whole clan. Naruto steps forward with some newfound courage, his black Uchiha shirt stained with his brother's blood. Points a trembling finger, not at the clan, but at the empty air. The village council didn't do this. The Hokage didn't do this. It was Danzo, him and his Anbu. But no one really trusts Naruto that much. Certainly not to go to war for him, but they do trust Shisui. And so he speaks, with a weak but commanding voice. He reveals that Danzo attacked him not because of the Uchiha rebellion, but to steal the sharingan for himself. He had discovered a great genjutsu power that he wanted for himself. He reveals that Danzo intended to wipe out the Uchiha regardless of the coup, only for their sharingan abilities. The revelation shifts the entire paradigm. The Uchiha were preparing to fight the village, more of an abstract concept, but now they have a real enemy who actually hated them, had plans, and now cast the first stone. Danzo had practically declared war on the Uchiha clan for going after their strongest and most promising youngster. Fugaku looks at Shisui, then at Naruto, his disappointment of a nephew, who dragged Shisui home to save him. Fugaku's rage shifts target. They dared to mutilate one of my own. Now his own Mangekyo Sharingan started spinning, revealing he had one all along. The coup is cancelled. It's no longer a revolution. It's a manhunt for one man. This time tomorrow, Danzo Shimura will be dead. Fugaku immediately orders the Uchiha police force to mobilize, not to attack the Hokage or anything like that, but to surround the root headquarters and prepare for an assault. After Shisui is given proper care, Itachi and Shisui try to convince Fugaku to let them approach a third Hokage who risen first, to prevent a civil war. Fugaku agrees, but he sends the entire clan as a quote-unquote escort, but really more of a show of force. When Hiruzen is woken up by the reports of the Uchiha mobilizing, he fears the worst, but instead he sees Shisui, Itachi, and Naruto appear in his office, followed by Fugaku. Shisui starts presenting his own story, his evidence, his wound, and Hiruzen's horrified. He can believe it. He realizes Danzo's gone rogue, not the Uchiha. With the Hokage and the Uchiha clan united by a common enemy, Danzo has lost all of his political cover, and is now a fugitive in his own village. And so, with the help of some jonin like Kakashi, the root is raided. Danzo flees the village, becoming an international criminal, and the Uchiha massacre is averted. Shisui is alive and retains both of his Sharingan eyes, but his body is forever weakened. He can no longer sustain all the power he used to have. His high-speed attacks, and overuse his Mangekyo Sharingan eyes without risking total blindness and paralysis. So, he officially retires from the Anbu Black Ops, and accepts his position as a regular jonin instructor, a role that allows him to stay within the village and monitor the uneasy truce between the Uchiha and the Hokage. It's not like everyone's suddenly happy, they're just not trying to kill each other anymore. Naruto, watching his invincible big brother bedridden for weeks, shakes him to the core and makes him want to work even harder. He realizes that even the strongest of the Uchiha can bleed, and solidifies his resolve to want to become a Hokage, who fights for everyone and protects the peace in and outside the village. He wants to be invincible like he thought his brother was, and he did gain quite a lot of power during this whole ordeal. He unlocked his Sharingan, though for now it's only one Tomo, and even tapped into his tail beast power, though only slightly and not really on purpose, it was just the stress of the moment. Naruto is no longer just Minato's mistake, he's the wild dog of the Uchiha. A now really powerful and quite promising youngster, on par or even exceeding Sasuke, who is yet to unlock his own Sharingan, and starting to fall behind Naruto. Naruto is respected for having charged into a root ambush and saving his own brother, but they disdain his methods. He lacks the grace, the subtlety, and delicacy of the chakra control of a true Uchiha. Sasuke, even though he still lacks his sharingan, represents the Uchiha ideal, elite, elegant, and cold. While Naruto is the Uchiha in reality, passionate, emotional, and enduring, but also powerful. With Shisui not really working as an Anbu anymore, he now has a lot more time to train Naruto in Taijutsu and Shunshin, the body flicker, which he did master once in this fight. So Naruto at least now knows what it feels like, and he's able to pick it up piece by piece. He is still a bit clumsy, often overshooting, but he is learning fast. And when it works really well. He is incredibly powerful, that boy. And even starts training with the likes of Itachi. Not that he's on par with him, but just to have someone else to train with. This also makes Sasuke and Naruto grow closer together. They're both driven to get stronger and rivals, but not that they hate each other. They actually like each other quite a lot. Naruto doesn't really have any other friends his age, and they both want to honor their upbringing and their fathers. They spar daily, and even started fighting together against Shisui or even Itachi, and function like a well-oiled machine. They bicker a bit over who got the finishing blow or who performed better that day, but their coordination is instinctive. They're really good together, and Shisui does say so himself. Naruto, even when in a not stressful situation, is able to use his single Tomoe Sharingan during his spars with Shisui, but he struggles to maintain it. But when active, his reaction time spikes. While Sasuke uses efficient, textbook Uchiha strikes, Naruto uses the body flicker. He isn't perfect at it yet. He stops with a skid, but he moves in bursts of speed that catch enemies off guard, and even Shisui sometimes, slaying them with heavy chakra-enhanced kicks. Eventually, they both graduate the academy number 1 and 2, with Sasuke being 1, just because he had the edge on the academic stuff, while Naruto is better at fighting. After doing some D-rank mission with Kakashi as usual, they finally get their C-rank mission they wanted. It all culminates with Haku trapping them in ice mirrors, but the dynamic is different than it can. They don't really panic. Sasuke now uses his own 2 Tomoe Sharingan, which by the way Naruto also now has 2 Tomoe, to analyze Haku's mirrors, and Naruto is able to use his massive chakra as well as being able to flicker inside and out to force Haku to stop using the mirrors, and then he's defeated by Sasuke and Naruto together. But just before the battle is over, Haku starts to target Naruto. Sasuke intercepts, but Naruto doesn't freeze. Naruto grabs Sasuke midair, uses a burst of Shunshin to carry them both out of the fatal trajectory, but it results in him taking a slash to the arm instead of the chest. Better, but not perfect. The scent of his own blood and threat to Sasuke triggers Naruto. His 2 Tomoe starts spinning and spinning, turning into 3. With this incredible power, he's single-handedly able to defeat Haku with ease. It's not a struggle anymore, it's just dismantling. When they catch Haku mid-transit between the mirrors, Naruto delivers a chakra-loaded kick that shatters the mirror and Haku. With Sasuke's fireball, the fight is over. Kakashi watches them, panting, grinning at each other, and he realizes he's not really teaching these genin. And now he understands why these two are so famous, even outside the Uchiha clan. When they finally get back to Konoha, the Chunin exams are finally back. Team 7 tears through the initial teams. With Naruto having studied more under Shisui, as well as now having the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, the academic portion of the Chunin exams is easy. And when they get to the Force of Death, Orochimaru engages them, not really targeting Sasuke, but both actually. He expects to toy with them, but shocked when Naruto and Sasuke coordinate an attack, a counterattack, that actually scorches his face with a fireball. When he realizes the threat, and the fact that Naruto has his 3 Tomoe Sharingan and Sasuke the 2 Tomoe, he decides to go for the somewhat easier target, and decides that Sasuke is the easier vessel to manipulate, and tries to brand Sasuke with a curse mark. He is successful, but immediately has to retreat as Naruto starts going crazy and attacking him with Sharingan and the fake QB chakra, forcing even Orochimaru to retreat. But the damage is done, and Sasuke collapses, burning with the curse mark. Later in the preliminaries, Sasuke fights the curse mark's influence. He wins, but he reflects on Naruto's pre-match pep talk. Don't let some snakebite keep you down, elite. Naruto has to fight Kiba, but it's not really a joke fight. Kiba mocks Naruto as the fox boy, but Naruto silences him under 2 minutes, uses a shadow clone, feint a Shunshin uppercut. He wins with style, later looking up at Shisui, who is watching from the balcony as another event of the Jonin, with thumbs up. Now they have 1 month to train until the finals, and Sasuke goes with Kakashi as regular to learn the Chidori to control his speed and the curse mark. Shisui asks to take leave as a Jonin instructor to train Naruto for this 1 month. Shisui teaches Naruto the Uchiha Halo Dance, a genjutsu, sword technique style, that uses Shunshin and fire-infused blades, but Naruto doesn't use a sword yet, so he adapts to use it as kunai. 2 weeks into their training, Jiraiya intercepts them. He claims that Naruto should be a student, as he was the one that taught their father. Shisui agrees reluctantly to share custody, and Jiraiya begins teaching Naruto chakra control, but this time not for summoning jutsu, but for the legendary Rasengan that Minato was known for. He realizes that Naruto's sharingan would help him a lot to visualize the chakra flow and speed up the process. With that being said, finally the battle between Naruto and Neji came. Battle of the Eyes, the Byakugan versus the Sharingan. Who would win? Nah, just joking, everyone knows the Sharingan is better. Neji starts to dominate close quarters until Naruto activates his eye though, and then begins to parry the gentle fist. He doesn't have to go underground or do anything crazy, but he just overwhelms Neji's rotation with a multi-directional clone assault, using his immense chakra and control, and finishes him with a Rasengan to the chest, knocking him out. Though he makes sure to tone it down so it doesn't actually hurt Neji long term. You gotta remember, Naruto and Sasuke, but especially Naruto here, is a lot stronger than canon, and definitely stronger than a regular Chunin. He's probably upper Chunin or possibly even lower Jonin level right now. But before he's really able to enjoy his victory, Gaara starts to transform, and the stadium starts to collapse. Before he knew it, Sasuke starts to chase Gaara, and Naruto follows suit, sensing the danger. Sasuke continues to pursue Gaara into the forest. He's confident, perhaps too confident, and engages Gaara in a fight. His friendly rival Naruto, his brother, and his good friend Shisui have all now saved the village. Now it was his turn. Sasuke uses his Sharingan combined with a Chidori, wounding Gaara, but the one-tailed Shukaku begins to emerge. The sand becomes erratic and violent. Sasuke slammed into the tree, his chakra drained by the curse mark acting up. Maybe normally he would be able to get out of the situation, but now he's about to lose. Now Naruto lands between Sasuke and the shifting monster. He doesn't look scared. He's angry. Angry that this guy is hurting his friend. Gaara fully transforms into Shukaku, the mini version though. I will crush you. I will prove my existence. Naruto sighs and cracks his knuckles. You talk too much. He realizes that his way of fighting is the opposite of Gaara. He's small and fast, whilst Gaara is big but slow. With better chakra control compared to Kanon, he uses 200 shadow clones who fill the sky, all threatening to use the Rasengan he had now mastered. Before Gaara, or Shukaku, knows it, the fight is already over. The real Naruto jumped out from the shadow with a real Rasengan infused with his wind chakra. An incomplete wind style. It's not like he's mastered the Rasen Shuriken, but he's been working on it with Shisui. He blasts through the sand armor, knocking Gaara out cold, unconscious, in one single blow. This is the power of a half Uchiha and half Uzumaki. Once everything is said and done, Konoha suffered relatively minimal casualties thanks to the Uchiha still being alive in this canon, and their Uchiha police force being able to ward off a lot of the attackers. The Uchiha clan are now undeniable heroes, and this distrust is mostly gone amongst regular villagers. Of course, there are some, like those who supported Danzo, who still have it out for the Uchiha, but generally, the bad blood is disappearing quickly. Not just that, but Naruto specifically is actually celebrated. Bravely stopped the Jinchuriki, who was going to go mayhem and protect another Genin. We now cut to Sasuke, who was waking up in the hospital. He was knocked out by Shukaku just before Naruto defeated him. Before he could even stand up, he hears a nurse in the corridor. Did you see Naruto Uchiha? He took down that monster single-handedly. And Captain Itachi drove off Orochimaru. The words rung deep, and Sasuke realizes he didn't really do anything. He tried his best to save the village, to do what his friends and family did before, but he wasn't able to. He's strong, sure, but not as strong as them, and not strong enough to protect the village he cares for. He was saved by his rival. Sure, he likes Naruto, but he's a shinobi. It's not like he wants to be saved by others. The curse mark on his neck burns. It whispers to him. In a village of heroes, he's just the little brother, the one that keeps having to be saved. That night, while Sasuke is still in the hospital, the Sound Four, under Orochimaru's orders, start to infiltrate the hospital. They don't need force. They're quiet enough not to alert the increased security after the Chunin exams. Then they find Sasuke on the roof. Look at them, Sasuke. Shisui the teleporter, Itachi the fearless one, and Naruto the hero. Where do you fit? You are a spare. Orochimaru can give you the power to surpass them all. He doesn't need much more convincing. He doesn't leave for revenge to kill his brother or whatnot. He leaves because he feels left alone. He doesn't have enough power to protect those he cares for, and he doesn't want to be a burden to him. He will become more powerful than even his older brother Itachi, someone who his parents can be proud of and the village calls a hero. The next morning, Sasuke was gone, and Naruto was the one to pick up the pieces after him. After his heroic save of Sasuke and the battle with Gaara, he was promoted to Chunin. And because the village was in high alert, and Itachi was on a mission himself, and Shisui, well, he didn't want to get involved with Sasuke, and he thought that Naruto was also the best one to retrieve him back. it was decided that Naruto would be able to choose his team and retrieve Sasuke himself. He chose Shikamaru, Neji, Shoji, and Kiba. Without knowing it, the perfect counter to the Sound 4. They picked apart the Sound 4 efficiently, getting them one by one, and let Naruto continue to get Sasuke himself. They knew not only that he was the strongest one, but also that he was the only one that could even have a chance of convincing Sasuke to come back. So with the support of his friends, Naruto doesn't get bogged down. He trusts his team and rushes forward using his superior speed. But of course Sasuke is also really fast, so they still meet up at the Valley of the End. Turn around, Sasuke. Shisui's waiting for us. Without saying anything, Sasuke draws his sword. Shisui pities me. I don't want his pity. I want strength to protect those I care about. Naruto sees that his words aren't going to convince Sasuke, so they start their battle. But it's not really close at first. Naruto is a high Chunin, maybe low Jonin level even, and Sasuke is pretty around mid Chunin. Naruto is able to parry Sasuke's attacks effortlessly and pin Sasuke to the water. Stop this tantrum, Sasuke, you're an Uchiha elite! Sasuke snaps and activates the curse mark level 2 and transforms into a wicked monster. The power gap closes as Sasuke's speed now rivals Naruto's body flicker. He prepares a black Chidori, but Naruto realizes that talk is cheap and taps into the Ninetales chakra just to really overpower Sasuke. His shroud is red and his eyes become feral, even with the Sharingan activated. This is a real mix of an Uzumaki and the Uchiha. He forms a piercing red Rasengan, the color of a Sharingan. When they clash, the explosion vaporizes the entire river. As the smoke clears, Sasuke is on the ground, curse mark deactivated and receding, barely conscious. Naruto is still standing, his hand bruised and burnt, but he is victorious and standing. Naruto walks over to pick Sasuke up. I told you, I'm dragging you back. Just as he's done with the fight, Orochimaru, like a shadow come alive, comes out of the ground, slithering over to Sasuke. An impressive display, Naruto. Come on then, I'll take you on too, Naruto said, but he was bluffing. He won the fight with Sasuke, sure, but he was still exhausted, and Orochimaru was on a whole nother level. He knew this guy was probably on Itachi's level, although Itachi was able to drive him away, combined with the power of the third Hokage. Which, by the way, Hiruzen is still alive here because the Uchiha clan helped protect him. Luckily, Naruto didn't have to fight Orochimaru on his own, as at the same time, Kakashi and Itachi both just arrived, fresh off their mission. Of course, Orochimaru wouldn't be able to defeat all of these three ninja, and so he had to retreat without Sasuke. But not before Itachi was able to put a powerful genjutsu on him that made him think that he actually won the battle. It would take multiple days for him to actually understand what happened and that he doesn't actually have Sasuke and lost the battle. Sasuke woke up after being knocked out from the fight with Naruto 3 days later. When he does, he sees white curtains and the Konoha leaf symbol on the wall, and the door slides open. It's not Orochimaru or Naruto, it's Fugaku Uchiha, his dad. Sasuke is reprimanded for, even though now that the Uchiha are actually being looked up through a good lens, it feels like he's trying to break the newfound trust in the Uchiha clan and trying to join the enemy. A bad look to say the least, especially for the leader of the Uchiha clan's son. With that in mind, he's confined to the Uchiha district solely, stripped of his shinobi rank temporarily, and under house arrest for the moment. Mostly sent him by Mikoto, not anyone else. Over that time, Naruto visits him. He enters through the window mostly. Get out, Sasuke hisses. You think because you dragged my body back you saved me? You just proved that I'm a prisoner here. Naruto leans against the wall, arms crossed. He looks different than Sasuke remembers, more mature. I saved you from becoming a skin suit for the snake, idiot. But you are right. I beat you. I didn't reach you. I couldn't do what you needed me to do, and I'm sorry for that. Naruto couldn't just fix the hole in Sasuke's heart. It would take a lot more time and effort from both to do that. A couple days later, Jiraiya arrives with a grim warning. The Akatsuki are silent, but they are preparing, and they will come for the Ninetales when they least expect it. Naruto realizes that staying in the village puts everyone at risk. The new trust between the Uchiha and the rest of the village could all blow up if the Ninetales goes wild again. So it's decided that it's for the best if Naruto leaves with his new mentor Jiraiya for a while, maybe a couple of years. If he leaves, he draws away the fire and lets Konoha recover. Naruto meets Shisui and Itachi at the main gates. Shisui says, Sasuke won't say goodbye, he's sulking. It's fine, when I come back I'll be strong enough to knock some real sense into him, Naruto says. Take this. Itachi hands Naruto a small book. It's a handwritten guide on the genjutsu countermeasures. You have the eyes, Naruto, but you have to fight like a brawler. Learn to see the truth underneath. Naruto ties his forehead protector and bumps fists with Shisui. Watch over that grumpy prince for me, will ya? Naruto turns and walks away with Jiraiya into the mist. He leaves knowing his family is safe, but still kind of fractured, especially his best friend and rival. He has to become strong enough not to fight enemies but to heal his brothers. 2.5 years pass. Naruto now returns to the village. He's taller, broader, and exudes a calm confidence that replaces his childhood hyperactivity. He's more like Shisui, really. He wears a variation of the classic Jonin flak jacket over a black long-sleeved shirt with orange lining, and the Uchiha fan on the back is now bordered by the Uzumaki scroll, a symbol of his dual heritage. Over his 2 years of training, he's now mastered the 3 Tomoe sharingan, and his chakra control is precise enough to use genjutsu, specifically breaking out of it and reflecting it. And he's basically just more like Shisui, a true prodigy. But he's also mastered the wind release and carries trench knives given to him by Asuma, who he trained with briefly before leaving. Sasuke, meanwhile, spent 3 years in Konoha under crushing supervision of the Uchiha police force and the Hokage, who now work closer than ever with the Anbu basically being dissolved since Danzo left. Sasuke has become a Jonin, and actually quite respected. He's lethal and efficient and outwardly loyal, but internally he's simmering. He feels lost. He also feels constantly behind compared to Naruto, but he's mastered lightning release with the Chidori variants and fire release to a level that rivals even Fugaku and Itachi. When Naruto finally returns to the village, they meet at the training grounds they first sparred at in the Uchiha compound. They don't say anything to each other than Naruto saying, "Hey." They spar immediately. It's a blur of shunshin and swordplay by Sasuke. Naruto uses his wind-infused trench knives, Sasuke uses his kusanagi blade, channeling the Chidori, and they're basically at a stalemate. Shisui and Itachi are both watching from a tree, noting that while they are equal in skill, Naruto fights to protect, and is generally more relaxed, while Sasuke is letting his emotions run his movements, and he's genuinely trying to hurt Naruto. So realistically, Naruto still has the upper hand, even though it's not quite as pronounced as it used to be. Without much delay, news arrives that Gaara, the one-tailed Jinchuriki, has been taken by the Akatsuki, specifically their members Deidara and Sasori. In response, Team 7 deploys, now back with all their members, Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. It's one of the strongest Konoha teams that they have. Though I do actually need to preface this, since Hiruzen survived and they never actually got Tsunade, Sakura is weak, like really weak actually. She did train a bit with Kakashi, but I mean, compared to the other two, and even compared to canon, she is quite weak. She's probably like low to mid Chunin, whilst everyone else is at Jonin level. And Naruto and Sasuke are actually mid to high tier Jonin. Without much hassle, they breach the Akatsuki hideout. They split up with Naruto and Kakashi going for Gaara and Sasori, and Sasuke and Sakura going for Deidara. And basically, they destroy them. I mean, Naruto and Sasuke are both so incredibly powerful that they can each take on an Akatsuki member, so especially with backup and each other, they'll easily win. And because they were faster than canon here, Gaara doesn't need to die, and the one-tailed beast isn't even really taken out from him. Basically, this mission goes as best as you can reasonably expect from them, and Naruto and Sasuke become known as the twin sons of the Uchiha clan. Two shinobi that, if paired together, the enemy won't survive, and the mission will be a success, no matter what the difficulty is. They're actually so powerful that people start to underestimate the Akatsuki again and say that if these two boys can defeat them, then there's no real worry for an entire shinobi village. But they're sorely mistaken. After suffering this humiliating defeat, the Akatsuki move more aggressively, capturing tailed beast all over. When they target the leaf to capture the nine-taileds, it's not a stealth mission. It's an all-out assault, led by Pain, their leader. But here, we have the entire Uchiha clan ready to defend their village, so things will go differently. Almighty push! This time, without Jiraiya dying or anything really as a warning, Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, shows up out of nothing, floating above the village, and destroys most of it in a single blast. Most older shinobi got a flashback to the Nine-Tails attack, but this is arguably worse, because it's not some houses being destroyed, the village is gone. But this fight will be different than in canon, because you gotta remember, Naruto does not have Sage Mode here. He never actually learned how to do any kind of summoning. Even during the time skip where he trained with Jiraiya, he focused on things like with the wind release and the Rasengan, not the summoning jutsu. While everything is still in disarray, Naruto starts fighting Pain, but is actually overwhelmed when 6 enemies shows up instead of 1. Luckily, Itachi Uchiha pushes himself past his terminal illness to defend the village, and Naruto, from capture by the Akatsuki, but he has to use his Susanoo while his body is failing him. He has to push his Mangekyo Sharingan until his eyes start bleeding. And whilst he does keep Naruto safe, at last he dies in Naruto's arms, smiling, and entrusts his will, the will of fire, and his eyes, to Naruto Uchiha, a boy who's practically his younger brother. The grief of seeing his second brother basically die in front of him causes Naruto to awaken his own Mangekyo Sharingan. With the newly found power, Naruto overpowers pain like it's easy, eventually pushing back all paths of pain down to the single path, which he uses, as in canon, to get to the real body of Nagato Uzumaki. But unlike canon, Naruto isn't playing around anymore. He saw who he considered a brother die in his arms, so he's not happy. Nevertheless, seeing Nagato still makes him pity an Uzumaki friend. Family even. But that won't make him forgive the murder of his own family. And so he raised his kunai. And right when he wanted to throw the kunai, he stopped himself. He is an Uchiha, yes, and hatred does flow through his veins. But this is not what Shisui or Itachi would have wanted. So he stops himself, ailing his new friend to save those he can with his powers. He complies and tries his best to resurrect all of those he killed. But alas, it's that what kills him. Sadly for Naruto though, when he returns to Konoha, he sees Itachi's corpse, still dead and cold. Itachi didn't die because of Pain's attack, he died because of his own disease, which means that he could not be reanimated, and he would stay dead. With the help of Shisui, he takes care of Itachi's body to be made ready for his eye someday to be transferred to his real brother, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto didn't care much for the power. He'd now unlocked the real Mangekyo Sharingan, even if it wasn't an EMS yet. Sasuke himself also unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan naturally when he found out his brother died. The person he trusted most in this world. He hated himself for ever having wanted to leave this village, for being jealous of his brother's power and fame. And with that, it was decided that he would get Itachi's eyes to carry on his legacy and make his brother proud in the afterlife. After Itachi's funeral, Shisui whispered over to Naruto, "Hey, when I die, I'll give you my eyes too." Naruto turned around, "Don't joke about that," and punched his brother in the arm. But he did mean it for real. Sadly, that day would come sooner than either of them expected. Whilst everyone was still mourning Itachi's death, especially the Uchiha, the village was only being started to be rebuilt. And in that chaos, Danzo Shimura himself reappeared. After years of being gone, he now claimed the title of Hokage of Konoha. Hiruzen's still missing in action and wasn't found since the Pain attacks. And to be fair, he's getting up there in age. With both of those facts, Danzo takes power and is now acting as Hokage. The 5th Hokage, as again, Tsunade was never called here. Before any kind of coronation, or really anyone accepting that he's back, he brands Sasuke a traitor. The reason is because Sasuke, after the Valley of the End fiasco, during the Shippuden time skip, he was tasked with investigating Danzo's involvement in the Akatsuki, as well as his secret Anbu force, which was still loyal to him. Sasuke is branded a rogue ninja and oppositional to the Leaf, and Naruto is even worse. He's confined to a prison cell and ordered to be arrested. But right as Naruto was about to be arrested by 3 Anbu, his brother Shisui refuses to let history repeat itself and helps his brother escape confinement. With that, he also riles the other Uchiha and saves Sasuke as he was about to leave the village and go towards the 5 Kage summit, which was called after the Pain attacks. Sasuke's mission was to kill Danzo, but it feels like now all the Uchiha are on the same page, and so is Naruto. Shisui, Naruto, and Sasuke all go to the 5 Kage summit with a single goal: to kill Danzo Shimura. And even though Danzo has some security, and of course the 5 Kage summit has some security as well, they're no match for Shisui, Naruto, and Sasuke aiming for a single person's head. On the eve right before the first day of the summit was to start, Danzo, the supposed Hokage, was fighting with 3 shinobi from his own village. Naturally, they dumpstered him, but before they were able to finish the battle and defeat Danzo, a mysterious man appeared out of nothingness. He called himself Tobi, but had hair like that of an Uchiha, and through the hole in his mask, you could see a sharingan. He was draped in Akatsuki clothes, so everyone knew he was bad news. Now. Come on, you don't want to beat up this old man. Let's make this interesting. Saying that, Tobi started fighting with Danzo, and even though they probably didn't agree on anything, they fought against the 3 Uchiha brothers Sasuke was pretty much a brother. He wasn't genetically, but you know what I mean. Now the battle was actually a battle, because Tobi kept pushing back Shisui and Naruto as they tried to get close, and Sasuke was the one fighting Danzo primarily. Shisui tried to create an opening, but it backfired badly, as Tobi used one of his powerful Mangekyo Sharingan abilities called the Kamui, and it caused Shisui's side of his stomach to disappear, leaving him bloody and gushing on the ground. Naruto immediately rushed over, but he realized there was nothing he could do. Tobi now started laughing maniacally. Is this the Uchiha prodigy I've heard so much about? Naruto started going crazy, and his chakra turned red. He started growing to one tail, then 2, and 3 and 4. The Kyuubi chakra really started taking control, and Naruto wasn't able to control himself. As Shisui took his last breath, he told Naruto, "Take my eyes, brother. I love you." And with that, Shisui Uchiha was no longer. Naruto was able to take Shisui's eyes even though they were in the middle of a battle, holding Tobi back with his Nine-Tails chakra. Sasuke was slowly getting the upper hand on Danzo as he did in canon, and Naruto now had the EMS, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, infused with Shisui's power, and immediately manifested the Susanoo, a powerful armor. Mixing with the Nine-Tailed chakra, it became orange. Naruto immediately used his newly found Kodo Matsukami power on Danzo, making him use a sword to hit himself in the chest. With that distraction, Sasuke was able to end Danzo for real. No genjutsu needed. And now they would both fight Tobi. Naruto was still releasing more and more of the Kyuubi's chakra, and it was getting to the point where Tobi didn't know if he would win or not. He considered escaping, but it wouldn't really do now. He wanted to declare war just now. This wasn't the right moment to flee. Naruto, now having the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and none of the drawbacks of overuse, used the Kodomatsu Ukami again, this time on Tobi, making him decide to stay, not to flee, no matter what happens. Now, Tobi was facing 2 giants in the form of Susanoo by Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uchiha, both with EMSs and lust for revenge. Safe to say, they continued to pummel him, and finally, Tobi would die. After everything was said and done, there was a lot of chaos around the 5 Kage summit, but it was decided that Kakashi Hatake would become the next Hokage, the 5th Hokage. It was overdue, but since he was already there at the meeting, he's very powerful and famous and very well liked, it was decided that he would now become the 5th Hokage in this meeting, but then also get a proper coordination to Hokage when he went back to the Leaf Village. Naruto and Sasuke were obviously okay with that, with their master, Sensei, finally getting the dues he deserved, and a cushy life where he didn't need to always fight. They would continue to be on Kakashi's bodyguard team, and save him from any other Kage trying to mess with him. But as they saw their power, they didn't really want to fight Kakashi, or really oppose the Leaf at all. You also gotta remember that since most of the Uchiha clan is alive in this timeline, the Konoha village is a lot stronger than in canon, and by far has the advantage over the other 5 great shinobi nations, and the villages. With the Akatsuki starting to crumble, with first Pain, Sasori, Deidara, and now, who was supposed to be their leader, Tobi, or really Obito Uchiha, Zetsu decided to do something. It was now on him to try his best to revive the Ten-Tails and declare the 4th Great Shinobi War. And so he did with his massive army of Zetsu clones. He tried, but alas, it wouldn't work. With greater cooperation between the 5 villages, as well as Kakashi at the helm, they were ready for a war. And with the Uchiha clan, especially Naruto and Sasuke, now ready and bloodlusted, there would be no real war. It would be a massacre. The Zetsus didn't hold up much, and as soon as all the reanimations came from Kabuto and Orochimaru, the battle started to go more to Zetsu's way, but even then it wasn't really a war. The only one who could stand up to Naruto and Sasuke was Madara Uchiha. He faced down 30,000 shinobi and seemed unstoppable, until Naruto and Sasuke finally got to the front lines and decided to square up with Madara Uchiha, the legendary shinobi who rivaled even Hashirama Senju at his peak. But alas, both with Mangekyo Sharingan would be able to overpower Madara. And so their only choice, the villains is to use the Ten-Tails power even when it's incomplete. But they have the 7-tailed beasts, some of the 8-tailed, and they have the Demon Brothers, which have some of the 9-tailed beasts. This would have to be enough to defeat the Shinobi Alliance and then truly revive the Ten-Tails later. Naruto and Sasuke, facing such a large beast, decide to make a large beast of their own. Naruto tried his best to tap into all of Kurama's power, forming a huge fox shape made out of chakra, and covered by his own Susanoo. Then Naruto was backed up by his best friend, Sasuke, who used his own Susanoo to strengthen and fortify their defense even more. With this overpowered, huge warrior, as well as some abilities like Kodomatsu Kami and Amaterasu, Naruto and Sasuke were the ultimate Uchiha duo, who would need no other allies to defeat Madara Uchiha. And yet, they still got extra power. Hagoromo saw them, truly having finally combined Indra and Asura's bloodlines. An Uzumaki and an Uchiha, descendant of Asura and Indra and their reincarnations, both fighting together, truly relying on each other's lives, gave them even more power, and gave Sasuke the Rinnegan. With that, there was no competition, and Naruto and Sasuke truly destroyed them. But alas, just as they defeated Madara, Kaguya showed up. Hagoromo's mother, Kaguya Otsutsuki, was the true villain all along. But alas, even without Sakura or Kakashi's help in this battle, Sasuke and Naruto would easily defeat Kaguya together. Really, they're about equal as a single person to Kaguya, but together they would decimate her. Both with their EMS, and now Sasuke with a Rinnegan, and the Tailed Beast Chakra and double Susanoo, they would help seal and finally, forever, defeat Kaguya, Otsutsuki, and Zetsu, and the Tailed Beast. Once again splitting the 10 tails into each of the 9 tailed beasts, and finishing the 4th Great Shinobi War. Now, an era of peace would be ushered in, led by powerful Uchiha, especially Naruto and Sasuke. They don't agree on anything, but it's not like Sasuke is now going to fight Naruto in the Valley of the End. They are brothers and do like each other, and with the help of Kakashi as Hokage, they would usher in an era of peace and cooperation between the 5 nations. Sasuke finally got the fame he deserved, and Naruto made sure he would get his dues. But Naruto was of course the village hero, and the world hero. The Uchiha mourned Shisui, sure, but Naruto was lifted up as a hero. So was Sasuke. Some years later, Naruto became the 6th Hokage after Kakashi, also becoming the first Uchiha Hokage, taking a small part of Madara's legacy with him, finally fulfilling the clan's dream, and of course Tobirama's worst nightmare, in a good way. He goes on to rule with the wisdom and precision of the Uchiha and the heart of an Uzumaki. Sasuke becomes the Shadow Hokage, traveling the world to protect the peace from the outside, and they would protect the world for many, many years to come. And that is what if Naruto was Shisui's little brother. I really hope you enjoyed. If there's anything else you want to suggest, maybe a different story, or in addition to this own story, if you have any ideas, comment down below, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!